Early in the morning.
What's going on, the people there? It's your boy Cam Topical Juice, and we are back with episode 5 of Love Island. It's currently Saturday morning. Let's get into this video anyway. Like the video for me, hit the bell to be notified for me. Press that subscribe button. Listen, we're like basically 500 away from 40,000, guys. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your damn dog about Topical Juice. And let's try and get to that 40k, and then it's 50k, yay! This was certainly the best episode of the season. Now, I saw a comment that made me chuckle the other day about because I said the season's been trash so far on episode 4, and people are like, oh, it's only the start of the season. Like, how are people expecting it to be fireworks? Like, let them know their names first, rah, rah, rah. And I hear that, I do hear that. But from Love Island's own standards, this was a poor start to the season in terms of the first 3 episodes. I'm sure we had Ekinsu in episode 2 doing an acting. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've got a lot to cover. This might be the longest episode so far of my reviews. Cool, so the episode starts here with the aftermath of the fight. And basically, Shaq and Harris have a conversation. Now, having reviewed yesterday or Thursday's episode again, I can confirm that it was Harris that said, shut the fuck up first. So it was actually his fault that the argument kind of started. And not to mention, he's allegedly done this before, like kind of stirring the pot a little bit, asking kind of provocative questions. And Shaq basically tells him straight, listen, the reason why I had a problem is because I felt like you were a bit of a shit stirrer. I felt like you don't really read the room. But what he kept doing here is, I'm not gonna lie to you, he kept patronizing Harris. Now, even though it's Harris's fault, and I agree with what Shaq was saying, he first mentioned age. He was like, I'm not too sure if it's your age, but this and this, you don't really know how to read a room. And I thought, Harris ain't gonna like that, but he'll let it pass. And then Shaq brought it up again. 2 minutes later, he goes, I think just because you're quite young and this and the other. And I thought to myself, bro, stop saying that. Stop saying that, because if he's as young and as immature as you think he is, you talking to him like that is gonna patronize him. What was the very next word that Harris said? Bro, like, don't try and dag me. You understand? Like, don't try and patronize me, etc, etc, etc. And I actually agree, because Shaq, if you know he's immature, you're gonna have to be sensitive about how you talk to someone who's immature, because you know they get triggered. So I did feel that Shaq was patronizing him a little bit by talking to him like that, and they kind of didn't really squash it. It was a good episode, man. It was drama. There was dynamic changes. There was key pivotal moments. So yeah. Now the next scene is Zara basically talking about how she was shocked at Olivia's reaction. And I think she talks about how it felt that she got a double whammy, because Zara cussed her out by calling her two-faced, and then Tom pied her off by kissing Zara or whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna give Olivia donut of the day today, because guys, she's doing too much. She's doing too much. Tears, crying. When her and Tom were sitting there, and Tom, obviously, you apologise for making her feel bad, she's sitting there crying. And then Tom saying, it wasn't necessarily my intention to kind of hurt you, which you knew it was gonna hurt, so. But then she goes, I'm not gonna lie, this whole thing has taken me 10 steps back. And he's like, oh, but you haven't really given me anything. And then she goes, we're not married, are we? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna act like a married couple. Like, now I've gone 2 steps back. If you're not a married couple, why are you mad that he kissed someone else in the game? Why are you so upset? Why are you so triggered at this whole situation? And not to mention, I'm gonna go over it in its own right, but what also makes her donut of the day is her interaction with Zara. Like, oh, let's not talk about it tonight, and then Zara wants to squash it, and then she's probably. Again, we'll get into it. I will get into it in a minute because it's its own scene. But I just really thought Olivia was doing too much this episode. I felt like, again, she's not really giving what I wanted her to give as a kind of character. I feel like she thinks she's a hothead. She thinks she's like doing what I want her to do, but I don't think she knows that she's coming across as quite like just sensitive and quite like I don't know. It's a weird one. Now, there's also rumors Zara and Olivia know each other. There's evidence of them commenting on each other's pictures from about a year ago, 6 months ago. So this Love Island thing, you know it's all booky, man. That they're talking about two-faced, they're having arguments, but they allegedly know each other. At least commented on each other's pictures. They might not be friends, because you know how girls are. I see it all the time. I've seen it years and years and years. A lot of girls I know, all of a sudden I'll see a few months down the line, they're now following other girls I know, and then commenting on those girls' pictures. But it's just like a little influencer. It's just like a little online community. I don't think they never actually knew each other. So I just see girls do that a lot of the time. So it could be one of those. But I also know someone that knows Zara, and I've heard some disturbing things about her, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to talk about it because it's not my place and I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But I know someone that knows Zara, and something bad happened to this person off the back of Zara's decision making, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's neither here nor there. But going back to Olivia, yeah, I feel do they know each other? Do they have history? It's a weird one. We then move on to Shaq. Shaq feels disrespected by Tanya. I'm not gonna lie to you, yeah, I agree. Now, some people probably won't agree. Some people probably think Shaq is doing too much. Shaq is being sensitive. Shaq's falling in love, falling too deep. I agree with probably all these things, by the way. Like, I'm not disagreeing with those. I just felt that I feel that Tanya is too freely available. And I know that might come across as, I don't know, sexist or misogynistic. It's not what I mean. I just mean that I do feel that Tanya kisses a lot of boys in these challenges. I'm gonna be honest with you. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's Love Island. It's literally what the game is about. But I just understand his perspective. If he actually does like the girl, if I like a girl, and I'm in the villa and everything's allegedly intense as we think it is, or as they claim it is, then I've got my kind of immediate future set on this girl. And the fact that she's so easily kind of accessible for other men to kiss her, and she's so available, she doesn't swerve, giving the cheat, doesn't do nothing. Again, she's all within her rights to do that. I just understand where he's coming from. And I do agree, she did kind of disrespect him. Now, don't get me wrong, he did kiss Lana's chest first. He didn't need to do that. He didn't. But the fact that he brought it to her attention, Tanya that is, and she was like, I didn't want you to feel like I did it on purpose, and you did. Tanya, you did do it on purpose. You did it for some get back. You kissed 3 other people because he kissed the chest of someone else. Now, he wasn't right to do that, but 2 wrongs don't make a right, and I feel like kissing someone's chest in a game, there is levels to it. There is, whether you agree or admit it or not, kissing someone and sharing saliva with someone is more intimate than someone just kissing your chest. It is. And I do think Shaq is well within his rights to be a little bit irked. He wasn't mad. He wasn't shouting. He wasn't shouting at her. He didn't disrespect her. He was just a little bit in his feelings like, yeah, like, you know, I felt like you kissed, you know, we're in bed all night kissing. You're talking about how you like me. She eventually recouples with man, by the way, just to be kissing all these other guys at challenges. Listen, a lot of people will disagree with me. They'll say, oh, it's just a game, it's a challenge, Shaq's moving mad. I actually agree with Shaq, and I understand where he's coming from. And this is someone that really understands women and empathizes with women. I'm just a fair guy, do you understand? I understand all the different angles of shit. Now, Ron says to Shaq, oh, like, I think you're overthinking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is before the chat with Tanya, by the way, but he basically advises Shaq. He says, oh, I think you're overthinking things. And I actually disagree with Ron. I think that's a bad piece of advice. I don't think he's overthinking it at all. Now, again, some people could disagree, but I disagree with Ron there. Now, David talks to Tanya. And guys, I was this close. I was about to say, I was this close to giving David donut of the day. But I take it back. David, yeah, I feel bad for David in hindsight because, once again, Tanya, I don't believe Tanya is that honest. Now, it was glaringly obvious to me that Tanya didn't like David. Do you know what I'm saying? She doesn't like David enough. She said it in yesterday's episode, after 20 seconds of the kiss, she knew this isn't for me. Not only that, you can just tell. You can just tell when they're talking, when they've got a dynamic, you can tell he's really into her, all his eggs into her basket. And she's not really, you can tell from the body language, she really smiles when she's talking to Shaq. She's a lot warmer, but I can tell she's a little bit torn because even though she doesn't like David, he's saying all the right things. What girl doesn't like a man with intent? What girl doesn't like a man that wants to put all their eggs into your basket and really pursue you? Most girls like that. So she's torn between, should I give this motherfucker a chance? Versus, actually, I don't really like the guy. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I feel sorry for David is because Tanya isn't honest. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like Tanya. This episode isn't about cussing her out, but I do think she was a little bit disrespectful to Shaq. And I do think she's dishonest with David. We know she doesn't like David, but every time they get into a conversation about their feelings and their dynamic and this, that, and the other, she kind of leads him on. I'm gonna be honest with you, she never really nips it in the bud like Ron does. And that's what Ron does with Zara, which I'll get onto, is exactly what Tanya should have done with David, and she didn't do it. She's a bit too scared to have these big conversations. Now, where I do think David could get donut of the day, when he was just getting all insensitive about overhearing a conversation that Tanya said she missed Shaq. Like, he's like, oh, you know, that's not really the conversation I'm trying to hear, like, but bro, toughen up. Like, where's all the alphas at? And I don't mean all this red pill bullshit, yeah? I don't mean these fake insecure alphas, yeah, who I think are betas. I'm talking about real alpha males, secure, respectable, assertive, kind and empathetic men who are just high self-esteem and assured of themselves. Where they at? Oh, you know, I overheard a conversation that you missed the person that you're coupled up with. Where are they doing that at? Toughen up, innit? You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. I feel bad that Tanya led you on, David. But bro, toughen up. You get me? Like it was just embarrassing. He's second place donut of the day just for being so like, oh, I didn't really want to. No, I shouldn't have had to hear that. Like, what's she saying? Like, is she saying? Of course, she's going to be She's exploring both of you. So of course, she's going to be talking about him and talking about you. Moving on to Ron and Zara. Zara pulls Ron for a chat. She's observed that Ron has backed off since their date. Now, I called this. I actually said this on the date. From the date they went on, I could tell he wasn't as interested in Zara as he was Lana. He had a better connection. I think when he came back, he was talking about how his head's on a swivel and this, that for the drama. But you could just tell he wasn't as interested. Simple as. Yeah, they got on well. He wasn't as interested. And he confirmed that. And he basically tells her straight, and this is what I respect about Ron. He basically says, I'm not actually here to try and juggle multiple things. Me and Lana have got a good connection. We've actually gotten closer since the day. I'm trying to explore that. And I love that from Ron. I can't lie, I love that from Ron. He's a real, I think, I'm gonna call it now, barring a crazy upset, Ron and Lana have won this. Like Lana's got this real kind of personality that's like, not dopey, but it's kind of like got that innocent kind of dopey charm without her being dopey, if that makes sense. It's just like she's just calm, innit? She's a nice girl, like. And Zara killed me because she goes, because you could tell her ego was bruised. I enjoyed a little bit of humble in there. Again, it's not even like she's arrogant, but I just enjoyed the scene still. She was like, don't you think you probably should have had a conversation with me about that? No. Does he owe you anything? So yeah, Shaq and Tanya talk. I know I've already touched on this, and he basically says that he felt disrespected, and then she says, I didn't want you to think that I did it on purpose. You did. But you can tell that she likes him more than David. But I don't know how much she likes Shaq though. Even though I know she likes Shaq more than David, I don't know, man. I'm still undecided. I'm undecided. Cool. So Zara and Liv speak. And this is where I just thought Liv was just embarrassing, to be honest, because she's like, first she initially didn't want to squash it. And then she's like, Liv was like, oh yeah, I didn't know if I wanted to have a conversation tonight because, I'm a hothead. No, you're not. You're not a hothead. You literally cried because someone calls you two-faced that either allegedly barely knows you or someone that does know you. So whatever way you look at it, whether you know each other before the villa or you don't know each other, you just met each other, you cried and you were very sensitive. You're not a hothead. You're not hard. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't deep at all. And I felt that Liv was just doing too much. She was doing too much. It wasn't that deep at all. Now, again, your boy called it. Kai and Anime. He likes Tanyel because he's very attracted to her. And someone like Tanyel who's toxic people are very passionate. Do you know what I'm saying? So clearly she's gonna have good traits. She's nice, she's passionate, she's gonna have something in common with Kai. So clearly he's interested. Obviously she's Leng. So of course he's gonna be looking at her with attraction and happiness, you know what I'm saying? But as I said in the first episode or wherever it was, he's clearly drawn to Anime. It's more peaceful for her. Kai ain't no toxic brother like that. He just wants peace, you know what I'm saying? And Tanyel isn't peace. Tanyel is a headache. She's a beautiful headache. She's a pleasurable headache, but she would be a headache, personally. Do you know what I'm saying? He makes it clear to Anime that he does like her, and he even says to her, should I have kissed you? And she's like, yeah, you should have. I think if the boys recoupled, he would have picked her over Tanyel anyway. Ron and Lana speak on the balcony, and they have their first little kiss. That's nice and cute. Man's like, I don't really want all the girls in the picture, but you're the whole picture now. Do you know what I'm saying? Really laying on them kind of cheesy, cringy bars, but not cringy in a bad way. Just cheesy. Yeah, there was good bars, you know what I'm saying? He got himself his first little kiss. He said, we people kiss on the game, but we ain't really had a proper one. Yeah, I really want to kiss ya. Will made me laugh this episode, man, and I'm actually glad he stayed. Sorry, Dave. Sorry, Big Dave, but I'm glad that Will stayed still. I can't lie, because he's like, before they go to bed, yeah, he's like, I don't think we should go to bed, like this. We've all argued, he's kind of like the villa dad, and then he goes, I'll start. He goes, I don't like how we all argued and didn't get along. And he's just all like, everyone's laughing and he's just all like, he's just all ditzy and shit. He's funny though. So yeah, Tanya and David speak, and I'm just gonna echo what I was saying earlier. She's not interested in him, and she's not upfront with him. She had ample opportunities to kind of cut him loose and tell him straight that it's not an acting, but she just didn't. And again, I give her a little bit of slack because she may be genuinely conflicted, with someone that's really like giving her all the attention, this, that, and the other, and all the intent. But I just think she could have been more honest. Now Kai and Tanyel talk, and this is where you can see that they get along, but it's just not the same as Anime. He knows he's got a worldie, but knows they're not right, basically. This is all before the recoupling, by the way. They're all just kind of having conversations around a villa and shit with each other. Tom and Zara speak, and he basically makes it clear that, they get on. He ain't really interested in Liv. and he's more interested in Zara. You know what I'm saying? Harris is the one that's interested in Liv. He's the one that wants to pursue Liv. But I'll be honest with you, even though people were criticising Olivia for being a cougar, because that's what she said in her opening statement thing, I don't think she's interested in Harris. Yeah, she was attracted to him, and to be fair, yeah, in a couple they might explore that. But you could tell she weren't happy being in a couple with him. She does think he's too immature. And I think he is. People are calling him like, oh, he's the Luca of this season. And we haven't seen enough of him, Harris, to call him Luca yet, in my opinion. But I see it though. Will's funny though. Will pulls Lana for a chat. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because Love Island's a weird one. Because when Will pulled Lana for a chat, Will and Ron are literally buddies. They're pals. They even hugged. Will was like, oh, let me pull Lana for a chat. Ron hugs him and then goes away. Love Island's a weird game, innit? That's your brethren. Him and Will are friends now. But it's like he's about to try and move to the girl you like. Obviously, that's predicting what happens later in the episode. So let's get to the recoupling then, because how long is this video already? Blood bomb! This episode's long. The recoupling happens, and we're gonna speed through this and just get to the drama. Anime picks Kai. That was easily predictable. Zara, yeah, I'll be honest with you. Zara is a lot more conniving than she lets on. Don't get me wrong, while I think Olivia did overreact, I do think Zara is particular with her words. She plays ignorant, plays naive, and the reason I say that is because in her little speech about Tom, she made it clear that Tom had made his feelings known in the little, I'm picking this guy because he made his, you know what I'm saying? But the way she said it was like, it was a sly dig at Liv. It was, because that showcases that. Obviously, we all know it's Love Island, it's a game, they're gonna be talking to everyone, but that really proves that Tom was out here trying to move to Zara, and she's really letting Liv know that Tom was doing that, you know what I'm saying? So Olivia then couples up next with Harris. Let's see if we have a connection, she says, but she had a face like a slapped ass when they sat down. She wasn't interested. Now Tanya, I really like Tanya, but she just, in her little speech, how can she literally, use David's own bars against him? David categorically said, when I came in the villa, I put all my eggs into you, I made my feelings known. And in her speech, she goes, I want to couple up with this person because, you know, he's not just told me that he likes me, he showed me, you know, he's making me feel special, he's put all his eggs into my basket, all these things. And I actually wrote down, before she even said it, I already wrote down Tanya and Shaq because I knew she was going to choose Shaq. But when she was spitting those bars, I was like, wait, this sounds like what David said. And then boom, she chooses Shaq. And I was thinking, you're a bad girl, you know. You're a bad man still. And then it gets a little bit controversial because Tanyel then chooses Ron. Because Tanyel lost Kai to Anime and she's now left with Will and David. And she did what most girls in that situation would do, innit? But what I don't understand about people that do this, yeah? And who did this last season? Danica did this, and it was my criticism of her. She felt so sorry for herself, and she felt so bad for herself getting rejected because she continued to go for people that were in comfortable couples. It was as simple as that. Why are you crying when you're literally choosing Luca, who's clearly infatuated with Gemma? The same thing's got to be applied here with Tanyel. Yeah, you're thinking about yourself. Yeah, you might not want to share a bed with David or Will. But you know Lana and Ron are a strong couple. You know this. Like, she even said it in the morning. She was like, yeah, me and Ron had a kiss. You would have seen that Ron and her are together all day, but yet you for me, I don't get it. Like, I think she should have chose Will. I think that was the most logical one. A friend couple, they've got great banter, they can get on well, and then they can both look for individual partners at their own pace. You get it? Like Lana, because when it was Lana's turn, Lana started to cry, fam. So tears rolled down Lana's eyes when it was her turn to pick because she couldn't pick Ron. And I'll be honest with you, in terms of the psychology of the viewers, like us, that are viewing it, that's only gonna solidify and strengthen their case, as in Lana and Ron's. Because it showcases how much she likes him. It's almost like a fairy tale. We're apart, and then we can come back together. Like, when they come back together, it'll be like a reunion. Like, they're gonna win, bro. I call it right now. They're gonna win still. So I don't really understand that logic with Tanya. I get the logic, but I don't really understand the decision making. But anyway, guys, I've been recording for so long that my camera's actually stopped. I think it's been over 30 minutes I've been recording this video for, so it's gonna be a long one. So let me know your thoughts, man. Like the video for me, hit the bell to be notified for me, and I'll see you lot at the next one. What the hell do I know, man? I'm just a man in his 20s. Peace.